benefit. They forget. So the minimum disease kicks in, and when a minimum disease kicks in, you end up with a minimum life. It's very, very dangerous. So how many people here have started a traditional business outside of network marketing? Raise your hands, please. Wow. If you don't mind sharing, how much did you invest to start your business? Initial upfront investment. 25,000? 2 million? 250,000? 60,000? 9,000? How much? 10,000? 5,000? 25? 300? Huh? An inheritance? You invested the inheritance? Okay. I didn't hear any 1200s. Not one. Did you? Guess what the average is in the United States? The average in the United States, 65,000. That's the average. Small business in the United States. Again, raise your hands of those who started your business outside of network marketing. Keep them up if you'd love to just have your initial investment back. Take a look. Take a look. Not a return on your investment, just a return of your investment. Can I have the inheritance back, please? See what I'm saying? You can lower your hands, please. So do you understand the price of entry into entrepreneurship here? Right? You get to be an entrepreneur for next to nothing. You don't have to do what they do. You don't have to package their products. You don't have to have it sit in a warehouse. You don't have to have employees. You don't have to have a computer system. You can do it on your phone. You don't have to have a business card. You don't have to have a logo. They spend more on a logo than you're going to spend to start your business. Really? And if their business fails, they can't eat their investment. Plus, they'll give you your money back if you decide to quit. What is it, 90% or something? What's the buyback cost? What's the buyback cost? Like 90% or something? Up to a year, you give like 90% of your money back. Any of you start your traditional business have that offer? No. Yeah, I mean, come on. You got a safety net beyond safety net beyond safety net. Stupid. But with that small investment, there's probably limits on what you can earn, right? You can only earn so much. They don't let you earn. There's no limits. It's stupid. Ridiculous. How many people started a business again? How many people had a business in more than one state? Keep your hands up, please. How many had more than one country? Keep your hands up, please. See what I mean? You get to have a business all over the world. From your home. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to sit in traffic. It's stupid. I mean, come on. So no, I don't want to do the 1200. That's you want to be an entrepreneur, step up. And here's why. And if some of you came in at a smaller package, let me give you a piece of advice. Immediately buy the big package. Here's why. I'm going to tell you, for your own self-interest. I want the story, your story for the rest of your life to be when people say, well, which package did you get? I want you to say, you know what? I made the biggest mistake of my life. I bought the smaller package. Well, once I realized my mistake, I bought the big one. They're going to go, oh, okay, me too. I don't want to make a mistake like you did. Right? So what story is going to make you more money over the course of your career? You're going to have one for the rest of your career. Which story is going to make more money? I came in at the bottom and I worked my way up. Or I came in at the highest level they could. I couldn't believe it was only 1,200. I thought it would have to be at least, way more since the average is 65,000. I thought it would have to be at least 10,000 for the opportunity they were giving me. I couldn't believe it was just 1,200. Or you can say, well, you can just start with 250 and you can see what happens. Stop four-mouthing your own opportunity. You got a gift for crying out loud. you have the opportunity to just stock up on a little bit of inventory. You don't have to hire anybody. Come on. So, step up, right? Now, so if we're assuming that, what are the commissions up front for somebody coming in at the highest package? $500? For real? So how much is that? Somebody do the math for me. I gotta move the paper. Man. Are there any other bonuses? If you do that, are there any other bonuses, fast start bonuses, etc., that you would earn for doing that? What else would you earn? Huh? No, I'm talking about when you do it. Any other bonuses show up if you would do something like this? Pool bonuses? Pool bonuses. So give me just an estimate, just a guess. Be conservative.
You get
$200?
You would get 4 shares of the platinum.
Huh? 2,000? No. All right, I'm going to go conservative. Let's just say 500.
And you get 12 shares.
You? On your own piece of paper. My piece of paper. Now, if you did this, give me an estimate on, are there any other, I'm sorry. No. If you did 20, it'd be 2,500? This would be 2,500?
Yep.
I'm only asking the company. Is that right?
There's another bonus.
I got a big finger. Right. Over the next 12 months, what do you think you would earn? Just give a guess. This is not I'm not promising anything. We're just kind of coming up with a guess. You get 20 people that go to work. You sign them up. For 12 months they work. Understand not everybody's going to go to work. Some of them are going to work, some aren't. But 12 months from now, from the efforts of those people, about how much you think you could expect to earn over a course of 12 months?
5% of
No, total. You add it up for the year. All right, let's just say 10,000. No, I know it's really low. Lifetime value of these 20 people. Now, I'll give you a statistic I'm going to share with you again in a second, but let me just give it to you in summary. If you bring in 20 people, approximately 12 of them will do something. 8 of them will immediately disappear and go to witness protection. 12 of them will do something. You'll think you have 12 lines, but you don't. After 90 days, it'll be clear that about 8 of them are doing something, and the other 12 are either customers or recruited one person or something. Okay? After a year, you'll have about 4 out of the 20 that are 4 good lines of sponsorship. And one of those 4 will be doing over 50% of all the volume of the whole 20. Okay? And after 5 years, you'll have 2 very significant lines of sponsorship after 5 years. And you can ask the leaders if those numbers hold true. That's very typical. Okay? So knowing that, take this lifetime value. What would be the lifetime value of this activity? 20,000, 30,000, 50,000? Well, let's keep it real conservative. I'm going to do it so I can round these numbers up. I'm just going to call it 22,500. So I can add that 2,500 to it. I know we're visionary. Now, if you do this, will you rank advance?
Yeah.
That rank advancement on your existing distributors will have an impact on your commissions on the existing distributors, let alone the distributors that you're bringing in. So that's going to add a value, right? You can decide what that is for you. Even if you're a Pro 5, Pro 3, Pro 7, Pro 8, you bring in 20 people, it's going to be hard not to move up one level. You know, pretty hard. So rank advancement is worth something. You figure out what that is. The value of your example to your team. That you decide to do this. That you do it when you don't need to. That you're doing it to show them. Because a lot of your team is looking at you saying, Bill, you haven't really done something in a long time. You've been talking about it. You've been telling me to do it. But I haven't seen you really do it in a long time. So if you really did it one more time, imagine you just did this once a year. Even your Pro 10. Just do it once a year. Take 30 days, bring in 20, the class of 2016. And you build that group up. Then next year, you bring in the class of 2017. Just once a year. Would that example be meaningful to the people watching you every day, not just listening to people watching you? People watch the feet, not the lips, you know? The example has a value. Prestige, reputation. Would you gain some prestige by doing this? Of course you would. I did every time. You know, you become a shooting star. Everybody knows, everybody hears about you. You're like on the calls. Everybody's talking about you. You're a top recruiter. You know, you're on the lists. You're on all the stuff. You get the awards. You go up on the stage and they give you the biggest recruiter awards and all kinds of stuff. Helps. You know what prestige and recognition helps for the most? Not you. Your team's pride that they're with a good leader that's doing it, not just talking about it. So if you add all this up, just our little 20, 40, this is 45,000. Plus. You say that this is low, plus. Right? This is probably low, plus. So 45,000 plus. So 20 into 45,000 is what? 2,200 or something like that? So 2,200 per person approximately that you're going to bring in. Okay, you're going to get it over time, but it's plus from there. Okay? So just understanding. Kind of wonder, it's like, if this is available to you. In other businesses, they'll say, well, we'll let you earn this, but you only get to recruit 2 people a month. That's it, max. There's a quota, there's a limit. We can't let you just do unlimited. We can't just let you have as many as you want. That would be stupid. You get as many as you want, as many as you can do. Now, I want to talk to you about oh boy, lost the page. Okay. I want to talk to you about the turtle and the rabbit. The best way I can do this is to draw you a picture. This is the runway at the airport at LAX. There's an airplane. A big tail and our logo. Now, do we have any pilots in the room? Pilots! Come here. One of the pilots, come here. Oh, we got a bunch of them. Hold on. I got the guy in the blue shirt. I already got him. Have a seat on the couch, sir. How you doing? What's your name? Hi, Justin. So, I'm on an airplane. This is my airplane. And I'm excited. Super excited. I'm loaded on the plane. I'm on. Ready to go. Seatbelt buckled. But understand something, Justin. Justin, I'm only a part-time pilot.
Only a part-time pilot.
Okay? Well, I'm part-time. I want to fly to Las Vegas. Okay? So I'm really excited. It's a short flight. Part-time pilot. So I'm buckled in. I'm ready to go. And I'm going to put the throttle to 20%. And I'm going to start moving. I got movement. My business is moving. Right? Now here I am. I'm moving. I'm going. And there's the end of the runway. Eventually I gotta turn the whole plane and go this way. Now if I keep 20%, am I gonna get off the ground? No. That seems unreasonable. I told you I'm part-time. That's not fair. You said this was a part-time opportunity. I could be a part-time pilot. I can't change the laws of physics. All right, fine. Oh. 40% then. I'm just running out of runway faster. Can't do it. Now I'm frustrated. You said this is a part-time opportunity. I have my family on this plane. This is getting embarrassing. We're taking the product on the plane. Peanuts in the product. Can't get off the ground. People are looking at me. They're like saying, I thought you said you were going to fly. I thought so too. Fine, 60%. Boy, I'm moving. We're going, people. Am I going to get off the ground? No. Even if it's a short flight. What do I have to do to get off the ground? Full throttle. That seems excessive. I told you I'm part-time. So, full throttle, really? Fine. Close my eyes. Full throttle. Here I go. Lift off. Family is like, hey, you did something. This works. Oh my gosh, take more product. That works so well that 100% that I probably, here I go, works so well. I probably should just keep it at 100%. Just keep it just barrel to the ground. Just go. Right? You run out of fuel, now you're confusing me. I can't do it when I'm on the ground. Now I'm supposed to do it when I'm in the air. What do I have to do to just keep it at the level? What do I back it off to? Real life. Well, let's say I'm, going to Vegas, 20,000 feet. 60, 65, 70%. That'll keep it at that level. That'll maintain. Okay, fair enough. Off I go, off to Vegas, right? Now, if I wanted to go higher, what would I need to do? Full throttle again. So if I did this, if I got off the ground, and I got to this altitude, and I got sick of this altitude, or maybe there's mountains coming, I want to go higher. Off I go, level off. This is how our business works. And whether you want to be around for a short period of time or a long period of time, you know what happens to most people? There's an ocean of people on the runway. Most of you are still on the runway. There's an ocean of planes just creeping. Just imagine just squadron after squadron of planes just creeping. They're mistaking movement for accomplishment. Yay! Isn't this fun? Isn't convention awesome? Yay! Woo. And occasionally somebody gets tired of it. And occasionally one person says, screw it, let's do it. They put the pedal down and they just disappear and everybody goes, oh, look, a protester. They must be lucky. And they leave the group and they take off. And they become this mythical creature that everybody talks about. Wow. Occasionally, one breaks free from the pack. And you get some people who go, whoop, they made it to level 3, Pro 3, and they're, 1,000 feet off the ground. Pro 5, 5,000 feet. Pro 7, 10,000 feet, right? And you see them out there, and they give you inspiration, hopefully. But they don't. What they needed to do is call back, hey, full throttle. It's the secret. Here's what I need you to understand. Slow and steady will not win the race. You won't get off the ground slow and steady. You can use the product until you're blue in the face. You're not going to build a huge network. At some point, I don't care, it doesn't have to be long. That's the key point that I want you to understand. How long do you have to be at full throttle to get to altitude? How long? What kind of plane do you fly? Oh, well, helicopter. All right.
I wonder if you answer the question. He's a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, you ever flown an airplane? Okay. Okay, good.
Have you ever flown?
Other pilots, have we been accurate so far? Yes? We're good? Okay, we're good. So here's the thing. Typically, to get to altitude is a few minutes. A few minutes. Get to altitude, level off. In network marketing, in my opinion, a 30-day burst, or sometimes even less, you can accomplish everything that pilot accomplishes by getting to another altitude. If you're sick and tired of being at the level that you're at right now, maybe you just need to get rid of all distractions, get focused, and for 30 days do nothing but bring people in. Nothing but it. Nothing. But bringing other people into your opportunity, the class of 2016, to help you get to that altitude. And then, if you're taking off in an airplane, is that a good time to read a book? Good time for personal development? No. Are you talking to somebody else? No. Are you having a conversation? No. You're focused on one thing and only one thing. Getting to altitude. Then you put it on autopilot. Then you go to the bathroom if you need to. Then read the manual and figure out how to land. Right? So, this is the biggest reason. It's the biggest reason why people get stuck in network marketing. They absolutely get stuck by thinking that they are accomplishing something by movement and not accomplishment. You've got to take a burst. Some of you, I believe 30 days is a good number because you can will yourself to deal with the fear and pain and any other uncertainty for 30 days. You can swing your life out of balance for 30 days. It's not forever, it's for 30 days. Then you've got that class to work with and support. This is how I built my career in business over the years. And it worked really well for me because I had to approach recruiting as a project, not as a way of life. Because of my introverted nature, I needed to just get it done. Focus and get it done. And then I got to the fun part for me. Then I got to work with them and hang out with them and help them and create some competition with them and some camaraderie with them and some fun, community, relationships, all of that stuff. And I got to tell you, the difference between recruiting 20 and 30 days or recruiting 20 and 30 months is dramatic. It's dramatic. On a couple different levels. First level, if I bring in the first 2 rows here, 20 people, they join my business in 30 days. They're all part of a special club. They all know each other. They all kind of came in around the same time. They're all learning together. There's some sibling rivalry that happens here and there. Some good competition that happens here and there. But they're all part of a special group. They're always going to have an identity with each other. If you came in with a group around at any period of time, you know what that feeling is like. Now, if I took those same people and I brought them in one a month, one every month and a half or so for 30 months, if I did that, every one of them would feel like an orphan. Orphan, 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 orphan. They would not feel connected at all. Every one of them would feel like an outsider. Every one of them. I couldn't create the same camaraderie, same level of... You understand right now, some of you have been around for a while, you recruited a bunch a long time ago. And then you recruit one person last month. And they feel like an orphan and you know it. And you don't really quite know what to do with it. And it's frustrating dealing with those people because you can't find that motivator, that lever to help them go. But if you bring in a group, now they have that bond together. They learn together, they grow together, they experience together, they compete with each other. You know what I mean? So if I take Andre here and Gabe, I'm going to create some competition with them. As soon as they come in, day one, who's the first one to throw 3? Gabe says he's going to beat you because you're not very good, Andre. I don't think he's right. I think you can beat him. He thinks he's going to get it done by next Tuesday. That seems, do you think you can do that? I think you can beat him. Let's come up with a plan. Let's work it out. All right? And then as soon as he says, I'm going to do it by Monday. I'm going to go back. Hey, Gabe, guess what? Andre just said he's going to do it by Monday. He's going to beat you. He's sneaking up on you. But I'm going to telling you that what he said to me because I want you to know. I want you to be the first of this group to get to Pro 3. Then I'm coming over here and says, guess what? These guys say they're going to go faster because they're guys and you're a girl. Best motivation for a woman ever. Yeah. Watch my smoke. I have tools they can't touch. True. See, I'll play everybody against each other. I'll get them all going. We'll come together. We'll have a barbecue on Saturday and we'll brainstorm together. We'll be family. And then the 8 will fall away like they do. And I'll have the 12. And say, okay, I knew the 8 were going to fall away, and this is the 12, we're going to take it to the top. Knowing that 4 were going to fall away after 90 days, and I want to have 8. Hoping for everybody and understanding the numbers. So I have a controversial opinion. I'm going to give you my controversial opinion. And you might not like it. Sometimes the company doesn't like it, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Is that okay? Recruiting in little dribs and drabs here and there is kind of mean to the people you're bringing in. If you're going to bring them in anyway, do it in a burst. Because you're giving them a huge gift of that family, that camaraderie, that class of 2016, that group. If you're going to do it anyway, you're going to bring in 20 anyway, over time, right? Yes. Over time, you're going to bring in 20. Yeah! Just get it done. Just do it. Quick. Because you bring in 1 this month, and then 6 weeks later you bring in another one. And then 8 weeks later you bring in another one. Every one of them kind of lays there. The productivity of those people go down exponentially. If you're going to do it anyway, do it in a group, do it fast, quick as you can. Okay? A little controversial, but I believe it. Success loves speed. You recruit 20 people, 12 of them will do something. 20 people, 30 days. 8 of them will look like leaders after 90 days. 4 of them will look like leaders after 1 year. 1 of the 4 will be doing over 50% of the volume. And 2 of them after 5 years. Solid, rock solid, amazing leaders. Now, if you do it slow, let's say 30 months. Same 20 people. You're going to get about 8 to do something, and 12 won't do anything. About 4 of them after 90 days, approximately 1 after a year, and who knows after 5 years. You have to get lucky. You have to get fortunate that somebody can do it without the family, the camaraderie, and the community. So again, if you're going to bring them in anyway, it's the 20. Which is kinder? This side? Fast or slow? Fast. Now it's harder on you, but it's better for your business. So I liked thinking about it. Now I gotta also tell you something. I only did 7. I only did this 7 times. Ever. 7 times in my career. I wish I could say I did it once a year. I didn't. I didn't. You guys, how many times did you do it? Twice. Twice so far. I did it 7 times. I earned over $50 million in commissions over that period of time. And that was the product of 7 bursts of approximately 20 or more over the course of a short period of time. Okay? Now the best in the world, the absolute best in the world will do 1 a year. Absolute best in the world. But I will tell you, it's pretty difficult not to earn a high 6-figure income if you do 5 or more. Lifetime. Lifetime. In a short period of time, each time, right? So let's say you did 20 in 30 days, once a year for the next 5 years. The chances of you having just a massive income are just really, really good. Okay? Now you want the formula? You want the exact how to do it? I'm going to give you exact how to do it. Okay? So you get the slow or fast? Good. Let's talk about the numbers first. What would you need to do in order to be able to bring in 20 people? Let's talk about now in your experience. Can you bring the lights back up again? So we can see their eyes. Perfect. Yeah, great, wonderful. Right now, if you do a presentation, how many presentations do you need to do for one person to decide to become a distributor? Full sit-down presentations with a prospect. If you do 10 presentations, how many will decide to be a distributor on average? 3, huh? 3 and 4, 2, 1. Somebody said 1. Okay. Now, is this number going to be the same for everybody? Now, if you're highly skilled and highly influential, it might be a higher number. If you're brand new, no experience, no background, it might be a lower number. But can you, no matter what, as long as you're getting something, if it's half a distributor out of 10, that means you need to do 20 in order to get 1, right? You can make up in numbers what you lack in influence and skill. You can just decide that you're going to go through more numbers than the other person's going to go through, and you can win any competition. Doesn't matter. so long as you decide to do it. I'm going to teach you how to go get that and make it happen. So let's look at the math of this. Let's say 10 presentations turns into 2 distributors on average. So in order to recruit 20 people, how many presentations do you need to do? Huh? 100. 100 presentations. How many are already stressed out? How many presentations is 20 distributors? Okay? So how many appointments do you need to have in order to do 100 presentations? Understanding that some people are going to have late no-shows or whatever. Say maybe 125? Right? People said they're going to do it. So call it 125 appointments. In order to get to 20. So I'm going to teach you, I believe that text messaging is a better approach than phone calls in order to be able to set appointments. I'm going to teach you how to do that. But typically from text messages, you're going to get about approximately 50% to set an appointment from starting a text conversation with them. Approximately 50%. So let's say it's about 250 text or calls. 250 text or calls end up with the same 20 distributors. Okay? To get the 125 appointments, have the 100 presentations, to be able to have the 20 distributors. So how many people do you need to have on your list? 250 to, let's say, 400 on your list to get to the same 20 distributors, right? That's the math. Does that make sense? Just simple math. Now, here's what I also have to tell you about success loves speed. If you do it slow, that's what you're going to get. Those numbers. If you do it fast, you get a different number. Just from doing it. Just from being in that moment, being in that space. This is slow. If you do it fast, here's what you can expect. You're going to have 3 to 4 out of 10 join. Because you're going to be in the mode. You're going to be just talking about it. You're going to be getting better and better. You're going to be sharper and sharper. Your energy is going to be right. Your intensity is going to be right. Your presentation is going to be strong. Your story is going to be great. You're going to be doing it not just being rusty every time, but you're going to get sharp, fast. I had a friend of mine who did a 10-day burst. 10. Not 30. 10. And he decided he was just going to do one-on-one presentations in Starbucks, Dallas-Fort Worth area. He did 140 one-on-one presentations in 10 days. 14 on average, all in Starbucks. 140. 14 a day on average. Had them booked every half an hour. Now, at the beginning, his presentations were 30 minutes long. All the details, all this stuff. By day 3, they were about 8 minutes long. Here's what I'm doing, here's where I'm going. We got a bunch of people on board. See those people behind you waiting to talk to me? They can be in your upline or your downline. You decide. Are you in or you out? It was like 8 minutes. Let me know, I don't have time for this nonsense. I'm going. He recruited like 50 of them. Worked with him for 6 months. He's a serial, he starts all these entrepreneurial ventures all over the world, has all these entrepreneurial businesses. He left the organization as it was. It's still growing today. After 6 months he worked with them. He hasn't been to a conference, he hasn't done anything. He earned over $100,000 every single month for what he did over 10 days. Every single month. Passive, residual, month after month after month after month, from working with that team to bring them in and get them going. That's the power of a burst. So you're going to get 3 to 4 out of 10, which means you only need to do 60 to 70 presentations in order to be able to recruit your 20, which means you only need 80 to 90 appointments which means you only need to send out about 150 texts or calls, which means you need about 150 to 300 on your list. If you go fast. If you go slow, you need the bigger number. If you go fast, you don't need the bigger number. Anybody who's ever gone fast will tell you. There's a momentum that comes from it. You recruit the first one, you tell that story about to the next person. And pretty soon you got 3 people on the team, and then you tell the next person about the 3 people that just joined. And then you introduce them to each other. You know what I mean? And then pretty soon you got this energy. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? They're bringing you people, and they're bringing you people. And you're in presentation mode. You wear your voice out. And trust me. But it's worth it. It's only 30 days. You can do anything for 30 days. Right? Now, I understand this is going to be stressing some of you out. That's all right. I want you to feel that stress. It's okay. Feel the stress. But again, what I asked you to do before we took a break, I want you to imagine massive success for you. I want you to give yourself permission to totally dream as big as you possibly can dream. I want you to look at these numbers and say, no problem, I got that. Okay, repeat after me. No problem, I got that. I can totally do these numbers. 20 people will be on my team, first mind sponsored by me in 30 days. I could have come up with a more simple phrase. But seriously, did saying the word stress you out a little bit?
Nope.
That disconnect we need to eliminate. Because it's an illusion. It's not real. You have this if you'll just step into it. Now, yeah, baby. Let's talk about scheduling. That's your month, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to start this tomorrow, so just relax. Let your blood pressure go down. You don't have to start tomorrow. I want you to pick a 30-day period of time that you're willing to accept. Okay? Whatever that is. For you. You pick it. Maybe it's October. Maybe it's August. Maybe it's September. I've done this in June. I've done it in September. I've done it in December. The time of year doesn't matter if you make a decision. It really doesn't. You can say there's nobody around, nobody to talk to. That's nonsense. Nobody wants to talk because it's the holidays. It's complete nonsense. They do too. They're looking for how to pay for Christmas, believe me. You just got to give them an opportunity. You have to have bigger belief than they do when that timing comes. So just don't worry about that. I want you to just pick a time, but one thing I would ask of you, before you go home, pick a start date. Doesn't need to be a calendar month. Just pick a start date. Be September 4th. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Pick a start date and commit to it. Tell the entire world this is your start date for your 30-day blast. Tell everyone on your team. Starting that day and bringing in 20 and 30. Get yourself uncomfortable. Put the deadline out there. And then you're going to be able to start working towards that deadline. But top leaders, their formula of success is this. Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. Say yes, I'm going to do it. Tell the world, here's my date. And then figure it out between now and then. Okay? So, doesn't have to be tomorrow. Could be tomorrow. Maybe should be tomorrow. But pick the date. Now, the first 10 days is mostly contacting, inviting, setting appointments. What you want to do is front load the first 10 days of your 30-day blast with as many presentations as possible in those first 10 days. Because you're going to be tempted to do follow-up, you're going to be tempted to do all kinds of different stuff. You just need to be focused during those first 10 days on you doing presentations with prospects. Now, another thing I got to tell you about this is not a team effort. This is an individual effort. This is not for you to get together with your team and say, okay, let's all just do this together. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. This is you doing it. You know what? Actually, it's more than that. Here's what it is. You have to say goodbye to your team for 30 days. One of the biggest distractions you're going to have from doing this is your existing team screaming and yelling and crying for your attention. Any of you have kids? Anybody raise your hand if you have kids? How many of them ever, when you were working, as soon as you picked up the phone, they started going nuts? As soon as you hang up the phone, they stop crying. Pick up the phone again, they go crazy. As soon as you start on this campaign, your whole team is going to wake up and go crazy. You have to resist the urge to respond to it. Say, I love you. I'll see you in 30 days. I'm bringing in the class of 2016.
Woo, yeah.
Right? So you're going to be front-loading the first 10 days, as many appointments as you can stack in there. Now understand, if you're part-time, how many people have a job outside of this company? Most of you. Half of you, whatever, 2/3. Here's what you're going to have to do. This is going to be one of the hardest months you'll ever have. This is going to be really hard. You're not going to sleep a lot. That means you need to get up early. You need to have appointments before you go to work. Meet people for coffee on the way to work. Never eat alone for lunch. Meet with a prospect every single day for lunch. On the way home, meet a few people again. Set up appointments that evening at the local Starbucks or wherever you're going to meet them. And do it again the next day, and the next day. And on a Saturday, when you have a day off, you might have to stack 18 appointments. Seriously. That's 9 hours of every 30 minutes. Is that something you can do? The answer is yes. For the kind of money we talked about, shouldn't be any problem. Shouldn't be any problem. Last burst I did was in June of 2005. And from that, approximately 90% of the income that I earned over the course of 6 years was from that 90-day burst. Okay, so how many hours are there in 90 days? Approximately. Can somebody do the math for me? Calculator? Just divide it. 90 times 24. No, total hours. 90 times 24. $2,160? Okay, 2,160 hours. Now, I didn't work all of them, but I worked a lot of them over that 90 days. Over the 6 years, I earned a little bit more than $7 million. 90% of that $7 million I could directly point to the 90-day burst. Okay? So take off 10%. So that is, 6.3 million. 6.3 million divided by 2,160 is what? Somebody do that for me. 6.3 million divided by 2,160.
3240.
How much?
3240.
32,000?
No, 3,240.
3,240?
Yeah.
I think it's up, the comma goes over, I think. Huh?
32,000.
Whatever it is, let's say it's 3,000. Is it 3,000 an hour? Huh? $2,917 an hour even when I slept. Even when I slept. I didn't work all those hours. So was it valuable for me to be able to spend that time? Am I guaranteeing you're going to get that result? No. I'm guaranteeing you're not going to get a result if you don't do anything. So my point to you is this. It's worth it for so many reasons. We talked about it. You've got to make the decision and say, okay, I'm going to front load the first 10 days. I'm going to be doing presentations. The second 10 days, throw this back up. Second 10 days, you're going to shift. You're going to shift to follow up, answering people's questions, sampling product, three-way phone calls, etc. And then the third 10 days, more follow-up, and helping people get started, right? Helping people make a decision. But it's important that you don't try and balance it out over the 30 days. It just doesn't work that way. You got to really stack it as much as you possibly can. So if you're working full time, if you're full time in network marketing, you don't have any excuse. You could do a presentation every half an hour, 8 hours a day. That's 16 presentations a day. No problem. You know, call it 6 days a week. That's 90 presentations a week. You're not going to have any problem being able to get people to see the picture. You got to front load it though. Okay? Now, next. You need it again? Really? This masterpiece? It's so organized. Got it? All right. Next, let's talk about preparation. Preparation for doing this. Now, here's what I want to ask you. How many people will make a commitment to me? Now, don't answer it until you hear the whole thing. That sometime in the next 12 months, you will take a 30-day period of time, or less, and not stop until you recruit you personally sponsor 20 new distributors into your business. How many people will take some 30-day period in the next 12 months, you'll make that commitment before everybody else that you will do that? If you do, your life just changed. Now, if you didn't raise your hand, all I want you to do is examine why. Just know that I'm your friend, that I want to see you succeed. You're here. You came to this conference. If you didn't raise it, there's some fear there. There's some doubt there. There's some psychic damage there that's causing you to think smaller than you're capable of thinking. And I just want you to examine it. I just want you to understand where it's coming from and deal with that. Because that's going to be a lid on a piece of your potential until you do deal with it. It's important. So let's prepare. 1, commitment. You have to be committed. You have to decide you're going to do it. You have to decide it's going to happen. You have to decide I'm not going to be discouraged. I'm not going to be knocked off track. I'm not going to let somebody mess with me. I'm not going to let somebody go boo. I'm not going to let my team distract me. Because understand, once you make this commitment, the universe is going to test you. You will not believe the stuff that will come down on your head as soon as you make this commitment that you're going to do this. It's spooky. Like, people will get sick. Businesses will have crisis. There are job issues. There'll be relationship issues. The kids will have challenges with their schoolwork. I mean, it's unending. It's like the universe wants to see if you're serious. Make a big commitment like this, and you just watch. You'll see. It's coming. It's coming hard. But it's like a test to see if you're serious. And if you withstand that initial burst and say, no, I'm not going to be shaken. Here's my vision. Here's my belief. I'm unreasonable. I'm doing it. The world will have to deal without me for 30 days. Period. End of story. I'm doing this now. Once you do that, then the wind starts to fall away. But if you react to it, it's just going to increase in its intensity until you're back into the rut that you were stuck in the first place. Just know it. Commitment is critical. And I would proclaim it to the world. Woo-hoo! Tell the world. Tell everybody what you're prepared to do. And that you're not going to stop. Tell your friends, please, no matter how much I beg, don't let me stop. Tell your family, no matter how much I say, no, I want to spend more time with you guys. Tell me, no, you keep going. You keep going. 30 days, you can do it, Daddy. 30 days, you can do it, Mama. 30 days. We'll wait for you. We got your back. We'll support you. Go make it happen. 30 days. Number 2, sacrifice. Are you willing to engage in short-term pain for a long-term return? Are you willing to be uncomfortable for 30 days? Are you willing to give up the things you enjoy for 30 days? Are you willing to turn off the television? Stop the mindless surfing on the internet for 30 days? Are you willing to give up on your sports team for 30 days? Are you willing to give up on that hobby for 30 days? Some of you are, super into fitness. You're in the gym 2 hours a day. You're willing to give up 2 hours a day in the gym to be 20 minutes a day in the gym. You willing to do that? Or not? Are you willing to sacrifice to ensure your commitment to recruit those 20 people in 30 days? Here's what I would ask you to do in this sacrifice is sit down and talk with your family and tell them. I think it's really important that you negotiate with your family. You sit down and say, look, how many people in this room have an unsupportive spouse? How many people don't want to raise their hand because their spouse is sitting next to them? I think I just created a few fights. All right. You know why they're not supportive? They're tired of watching you crawl. That's why. They're tired of you sacrificing all this time and energy and doing nothing. They're tired of watching you taxi up and down the runway. They're sitting in the back of the plane saying, do something. Crying out loud, I've read this magazine over and over and over. Get me off this plane. I don't even think it flies. I don't think it flies. I think it just flies around. That's why. So talk with your spouse and say, look, yes, I know I've been taxiing around this runway. Yes, I know I've been living in a small piece of my potential. And yes, I know the distraction hasn't been worth it for the family. I know. I get it. I have a plan to be able to just take 30 days and give it everything I've got to see if I can't get this thing off the ground. And if I do, then the sacrifice will start to be worth it. And it'll be worth it for the family. The family can enjoy the benefits instead of family just feeling the pain. Will you support me and be the wind behind my back for 30 days? And then we'll evaluate it together. Fair enough? They'll give you the green light. They'll say, go. Get. Finally. I've been waiting for you to show up. Same thing with the kids. Sit down with the kids and talk with the kids and say, listen, Daddy's going to be home but not home. Daddy's for 30 days, Daddy's got to be totally all out focused. And when we're done, we're going to go have some fun. When I'm done, we're going to go do this. Here's the 30 days, we'll put up the calendar, we'll start marking it off together as a family. 30 days, I'm going to be totally focused. So when I'm home, I'm going to come tuck you in, then I'm going to go back to work. I can't watch movies with you this month. I wouldn't recommend 7 days a week. I would recommend 6 days a week. I think one day you need to have just for your sanity. I did 7 days. It wasn't healthy on anything. Everybody starts freaking out. I did this. We created this documentary called Rise of the Entrepreneur. And we did this 90-day burst, Rise of the Entrepreneur. And I will tell you, by the end, even though I had all the talks with the family and stuff, they were freaking out. I was getting crying, tearful calls, the whole thing. I'm like, I'm almost done. But they were losing it. They just missed me, and I missed them. That was an immersive experience, and that's what this can be for you, immersive experience. But the benefit's worth it. They'll be with you. All right, next. One is sacrifice, next is negotiation. Negotiate with your spouse or partner, negotiate with your boyfriend or girlfriend, negotiate with your kids, negotiate with your If you own your own business, negotiate with people who work for you and have them step up during this 30 days. Have them go into another gear and support you for the next 30 days. Understand that you're not going to be as available for the next 30 days. Okay? Figure it out with your every single part of your life. Negotiate what you're prepared to do and what you're not prepared to do. Next is time. Figure out your math, figure out your month, and figure out the hours that you're willing to commit to doing presentations and doing follow-up. That's all you're going to be doing. Is setting appointments, doing presentations, doing follow-up. That's it. Appointments, presentations, follow-up. Even if your brand new people have prospects for you, fine, doesn't matter. Appointments, presentations, follow-up. Appointments, presentations, follow-up. Appointments, presentations, follow-up. That's it. Even those people that they need training, I'll train you when we're done with this 30 days. In the meantime, go study on your own. Serious. Because your group will start to pull on you, and you just need to let them know, I can stop when I get my 20. I can stop when I get my 20. I'll get it done as quick as I can. So figure out the time challenge for you. Next, distractions. The world is filled with distractions. What activity are your time wasters? What can you cut back on? What is it for you? I will tell you one of the things that changed my life, improved my life, was when I learned how to let go of things that weren't paying me very much. So cool. One of the coolest lessons I ever had. If you don't mind, keep the light. Go ahead and keep the lights up. You guys don't mind if the lights are up, do you? Cool. I've been mentored by 2 different billionaires in my life. And one of the first ones, I asked him, I said, you know, he had like 40 companies, he's worth many billions of dollars, and super successful, and very giving, philanthropic, and cool, and had a private jet and all this cool stuff. I was like, wow, I want what you have. So I asked him one day, I said, you know, how do I do better than what I'm doing? He said, well, what's a goal for you? Give me a financial goal. So I'd like to make $1 million a year. Okay, shouldn't be a problem. $1 million a year works out to about $500 an hour for a typical work year, work week, work year, about $500 an hour, approximately. Do you have a task that would pay you $500 an hour? I went, yeah, if I'm talking to a prospect, that's $500 an hour behavior. I'll make that for sure. Maybe not that second, but as a result of that conversation over time, I will at least make that. He said, well, here's the thing. Step 1, make sure you're spending as much time as possible in that activity. If you can do that 40 hours a week, you can make $1 million a year. He said, that's step 1. Step 2 is you need to not do anything that's under $500 an hour. Wow. That was a different thought. I said, well, what about like mowing the lawn? Somebody's got to mow the lawn. He said, how long does it take you, mowing the lawn take you? I said, about an hour. He said, how much could you pay somebody to mow the lawn? I said, I don't know, $25? He said, you're losing $475 to mow your lawn. Okay. Really? So I started adding up all the things that were less than $500 an hour that I was doing, that I was getting my significance from, you know? And I was like, that's not worth it, that's not worth it, that's not worth it, that's not worth it. So I stopped doing all of those things. I'm a complete mystery to my family. I believe me. They do not understand, because I don't do anything. And poor wife's over there, she agrees. I don't do anything that's under, I mean, it's a much different number today, but I just don't at all. I'm not handy at all. I don't care. I don't wash my own cars. They come and wash my cars. And now here's the third thing. Step one, do the $500 an hour activities. Step two, make sure that anything under $500 an hour, somebody else is doing. That could be done by somebody else. That doesn't mean have somebody raise your children. That doesn't mean somebody tuck in your kids. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about the tasks that you fill your life with, these little duties that you fill your life with. And step three is once you have somebody else mow the lawn, make sure the hour that you saved, you're doing $500 an activity. Otherwise, you just sit around and lose all your money. So I did that. And it was dramatic what happened. Within less than 2 years, I was at $1 million. Less than 2. From like 250 went to $1 million. Boom. Just like that. My life went from cluttered to free. None of those things. And then the numbers started going up. What are the things that only I can do? What are the things that other people can do? Now my number's way north of 500. You know, it's like, it was something sick to say. I won't even say it. It's a big number. It's like 5,000 now. I won't do anything that's less than 5,000 an hour. I don't. Or that could be done by somebody else. Okay? So just to give you an idea what's possible for you. So here's what I'm telling you. Some of you can't afford to do your laundry. Some of the ladies saying amen. Some of you can't afford to mow the lawn. Some of you can't afford to wash the car. Just saying. So long as you replace that activity with this type of activity, you'll be golden. Now, if you don't replace it, you're going to be in trouble. So replace that activity and find people to support you as CEO of your business to be able to do the things that only you can do, which is get in front of a prospect and share your belief, your vision, and your story. Got it? Understand? Some of the best advice I ever got. Changed my whole life. Next is tools. Are there any tools that you need to prepare? Do you need product? Do you need brochures? Do you need stuff? Do you need whatever? Are you ready to go? Are you prepared? Next, pick a start date. What is your start date? Write it down. Decide what it's going to be. Number 8. Imagine this done. I just want you to imagine for a moment. 20 brand new people have joined your team. You just got them together after your burst of energy to get them together and just talk to them about the vision of what they're going to do together. They're looking at you, big eyes. Your team, your existing team is looking at you like, oh my gosh. I never thought they were going to do it again, and they did. Imagine, how are you going to feel? What's your family looking at you? How are they looking at you? How's the company looking at you? How's that check feel when it shows up inflated from where it is right now? Some of you are recognized at a higher level than you're being paid right now. How would it feel to go back, at least go back to the level that you're recognized and you're paid at that same level because you gave it a burst one more time? I'm telling you, it's going to feel good. Imagine it done. Imagine it done. Now, let's talk about doing it. Everybody has 3 different markets. When they go into this burst, there's 3 different groups of people you're going to talk to. Hot market, warm market, and cold market. People don't talk about this enough. I haven't talked about it enough, but I'm going to talk about it today. Hot market. These are your close friends and family. that will not give you a break. These are people, they know you too well. So you can try all your fancy words and you can try all your fancy stuff, and they're still going to roll their eyes because they know your history. Okay? So I'm going to give you some advice on how to deal with hot market. First part of this, before we get to hot market, I'm going to teach you how to tell your story. Telling your story is one of the most important tools of this Recruit 20 and 30. It's going to be one of the most important tools to get the hot market on your side. It's going to be one of the most important tools to be able to grow your business. Now, write this down. There's 4 elements to telling your story. Element number 1 is your background. You're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're whatever. Construction worker, helicopter pilot. Your background. Element number 2, what you didn't like about it. Every profession has a downside. Even if you enjoy it, you love doing it. You know, you might enjoy being a helicopter pilot, but they don't pay you what you're worth. You got to leave your family for 6 months. Perfect example. Love what I do, I'm good at it, but leaving my family for 6 months is really difficult on everybody. Understand? So teachers, any teachers in the room? Educators, work in the educational field? Raise your hands, please. Give those people a round of applause. They're the heroes. Now here's what I know about teachers. I'm a teacher of a sort, not in the formal education system, but I will tell you, here's what I know about teachers. They're underpaid in relation to their value to the world. They're underpaid in relation to the hours that they put in. They live in an incredibly political environment every single day. They got to watch from attacks from the top and attacks from the side and attacks from below. It can be negative. They're a little bit of a slave to their passion, and here's what I mean by that. The system knows that they love their students so much that they'll buy them the materials, and they'll take care of that stuff, and they'll put in the extra hours to grade those papers, and they'll do all that stuff because of their passion. So they take advantage of it. Right? And there's a limit to how much they can get paid. No matter how good they are. They're the best teacher in the school, the best teacher in the state. There's still only a max they're going to get paid, and there's people less valuable than them that are getting paid the same amount. Got it? Have I got it? Now, so that's an example of background of what you didn't like. Teachers, did I get it pretty close? Yeah. So here's what I will tell you. If you're telling your story, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a teacher, and I'm a good teacher. I like being a teacher. But it does have its challenges. It's a political environment. There's limits on what I can earn. I have to do more than what they pay me to do. The hours are a little bit crazy, right? And no matter how good I am, there's only so much I'm going to get paid. That's an example. Could you do the same thing for every one of you? Could do the same thing for your particular background? This is incredibly important. Part number 3, that you found a solution. I found a solution. I found something to be able to get me either out of the situation or a way for me to feel better about what I'm doing. I found a way to improve other people's lives, still use my teaching skills, and have unlimited income. I found a solution with a product I believed in order to be able to do this. I want to go educate the world on the value of this product. See what I'm saying? I found a solution. And part number 4, how you feel about the future. So now when I get up in the morning, I don't dread work. I'm excited about my future. I'm excited about my opportunity to be able to educate the world. I'm excited about the ability to not only help myself, but to be able to help others. I'm excited. Got it? Now, in a moment, I'm going to have you do this with me, because it's very important that I have you feel what this experience is like. Because I want you to learn how to tell your story. Every one of you in this room has a story that's so emotional, so powerful, so amazing, that people will want to hear it. And when they hear it, they will want to help you. Okay? Many of you are not telling your story right now. So what I would like you to do, and how many people would agree to play with me just for a half an hour at the professional level, pro level? Who's going to play at the pro level with me? I mean, all out. All out. Will you follow my instructions very, very, very to the letter? Will you trust me? Okay, here's what I want you to do. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand up. And when I do, I'm going to ask you to find a person that you do not know particularly well. And don't cheat with your best friend next to you saying, let's just pretend we don't know each other. Okay? You'll be robbing yourself of the value of this exercise. What I would like you to do is we'll leave this up on the screen. I would like one of you to start and to tell your story. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that, and then turn around and the other person tell the story back.
Okay.
And I want you to experience what that feels like. And when I give you a countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, wherever you're at with the story, wrap it up and sit down as soon as I do it, because we're going to do this a few times. It's very important that you get this. Now, if you decide that this is the time to use the bathroom, you're missing out. You have 4 minutes. Ready, set, go. hard? Not that hard. If you practice a few times, you feel like you get a little better, yes? How many people felt like you made a real decent connection with the other person? Yeah, right? How many of you realize that you have a story? Wow, I have a story. That's weird. I didn't think I had one. Did it feel pushy? Did it feel salesy? Feel uncomfortable? Did you feel the urge to throw an objection in there? Not at all, right? Zero. Now you're talking business. You're talking business. Now, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, which one of the 1, 2, 3, or 4, which one do you think is most important?
Number 2.
Some of you looked at it.
Number 2.
How many people think number 1? Show of hands. How many people think number 2? How many people think number 3? How many people think number 4? Some of you have seen this before. It's not all the above. It's 2.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. That when you share your pain with another human being, you build a bridge. You build rapport. You build trust. Without that, you're just a salesman. You're just a salesperson. And you realize, consciously or subconsciously, when you share your pain with somebody else, they want to help you. And they're likely to share their pain with you after you've shared it with them, because we've been taught since we were little kids, showing pain is death. Don't show pain, never let them see you sweat. Right? So when you voluntarily do that, I was struggling. I was challenged. I was unhappy. And I found a solution. Here's how I feel about my future. How many people felt after they told the story that you wanted to help them somehow? Anybody feel that way? You felt this urge. How many people wanted to hear more? Tell me more of your story. Yeah, isn't that something? How would you like your prospects to want to hear more about what you have to say? Tell your story. They don't care about all the facts and figures. They don't care about 2020. Whatever it was. Nightline. Prime time. Whatever. They don't care. They don't care. It's nice. It's wonderful, but they don't care. They don't. They care about, can they trust you? Can they believe you? Can they make a connection with you? That's what they're interested in. Okay? So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do this again, and I want you to pick a different partner this time. Play all out. Play like a pro. Do it right. This time, you're going to repeat it. You're going to get a little more practice. You're going to feel a little more comfortable. But I want you to put special emphasis on number 2 for you. I want you to be really raw and authentic. Not practiced and polished and cool. I want you to tell people the things you really did right and how it really made you feel. Okay? Really. Get raw with it. And I want you to feel the difference of the connection that happens between the two of you. Okay? Ready? Set? Go. Pick a different partner. Different partner. More of a connection. Much more connection, yes? Was there more trust? How many people feel like you made a more significant friend this time? I saw many more hugs at the end. High five, hug, you got this.
Oh, Corey got it was nothing.
Yeah, it was good.
What else did you learn?
We bought Roger a shirt yesterday. $10.
Honesty. What about honesty? More honesty created more connection, more trust. It's okay to be honest. Straightforward. It's rare. It's unusual in a world that just has their masks on all the time. To actually be a human being. More confident when you're actually sharing your pain. You become more confident. Isn't that strange? How many people who went second felt like this opening to really share because the other person shared first? It's like, okay, you did it, I'm going to do it then. Fine. I want to do it. Anybody have emotion show up? What? Either you felt it or it exhibited itself? Anyone? Now, especially for guys, this is a challenge sometimes because we're taught to become, big tough guys that don't share this stuff. Right? They don't have emotions. Right? Now, even for us especially, women, you're really good at this already. You go into the bathroom, come out best friends. Us guys don't understand. I don't get it at all. Know each other's kids' names. You just went to the bathroom 3 minutes. Like, what in the world? Guys, when you go to the bathroom, we don't talk at all.
That's not a hangout.
Well, it is.
What else did you learn? Yes. She said that our pain helps them connect with their pain. It lets them realize that maybe they weren't as satisfied as they're telling the world or telling themselves that they were. Yes. We're living in pain, we're accepting it as part of life. Yeah. Did you get better from a little practice? Just once. Just practice one more time. It wasn't like 5 times. What if imagine if you did this 100 times? Something, wouldn't it? Yes. The person talked about a relationship in her life that was a meaningful relationship connected to this business, and it got better because of the business. Yeah. Yes. The more emotion you show, the more they'll start adding and commenting on your story. Yeah. Yeah. How many people felt even more like you wanted to help when they were telling their story this time? You're just naturally drawn to like, well, I want to help you not be in this pain. Even if you don't want to join the business, it has nothing to do with it. Can I buy something from you? Can I be your customer? Will that help a little? Yes. Yeah. Because the pain a person is going through physically. Say the rest again. Say the rest again. Yes? Because you saw her passion, because it's helped her pain and she wants to help other people. And be, yes. And being inspired that a millennial would want to be doing something like that. See, because some people would say that millennials can't talk to older people because they can't relate. Guess what? You can relate. If she tried to be a super pro doctor with you and tell you all the ingredients of the product, you wouldn't have been impressed. What impressed you was she was being authentic and telling you her story, and that inspired you. So it doesn't have to be the same age, same background, same experience, same gender, same color. Doesn't have to be any of that. Just authenticity. We're drawn to it. Now, did it ever feel salesy? Did it feel pushy? Didn't. Isn't that something? Felt real. Yeah. Felt good, right? How many people felt honored that someone was willing to share their story with you? How many people felt respected that someone was willing to listen to your story? Isn't that something? Honor and respect. You picked up pennies at Normandale College? Yes? You did? 8+ for art history? Well, that's pretty good. I went to Normandale College and I have 8 credits. And I did not get an 8+ in anything. You felt like you made a friend. Now, if they decided that they didn't want to help you, did it matter?
What'd you get grades?
Still okay. You're collecting credits. Yeah. The more open and sincere you are, the less afraid of the questions. Because how could somebody come and throw a big nasty objection at you after you share like you just shared? It just is awkward. It's odd. Someone that would have to not be a good person to do that, or have some severe psychic damage. Right? Now, please throw the 4 things up on the screen again for me, please. Okay. I would like you to do this one more time before you groan. Oh, come on, you're killing me. Just understand, I'm about to ask you to do this 100 times. Okay? This is within a friendly group. Here's what I'd like you to do. This time you don't even need to stand up. You just do it with the person sitting next to you. But this time you have specific instructions. You don't get to do number 1 and 2. All I want you to do is introduce yourself. Hi, my name is, and do 3 and 4. That's all you get to do. You don't get to do 1 and 2. Just 3 and 4. Okay? Ready? I want you to feel how this feels. Set. Go.
Support your family and live the life that you want to live.
watching the last 10 minutes of the movie. What else? What else? Felt salesy. Feel pushy? Feel like you're on a used car lot, kind of? Did you feel like you needed to bring up an objection? Did you feel like red flags? Felt strange, didn't it? Generally? Strange. No connection. There's no trust. Even if you're sitting next to a person, you probably trust them already. And you still didn't trust them. It's weird. It felt you didn't know where to start, right? There was no rhythm to it. Now listen to me. Listen. This is what most of you have been doing your entire career. This is how you've been making people feel since you started. So the reason why you get the objections, and the reason why you get the resistance, and the reason why people say, no, not my thing, the reason why family gives you challenge, because you're telling them the ingredients in the product. You're telling them about how you feel about your future. You're telling them about, hey, look at this video. Nobody cares about your video until they know about you. They don't. It's just another video. Until they know about you. Until they connect with you. Until they trust you. Until they believe you. Did you feel, during this last exercise, did you feel the urge to help? No, you felt the urge to get it over with. Isn't that something? And you're in network marketing. Isn't that something? So I want you to understand something. How many people feel like you burned out their warm market?
Oh.
Your family, friends, they don't want to hear about it. Anybody? Raise your hand. Be honest. Come on. Let me tell you something. Most of your warm market, your hot market, your friends and family, they've never heard your story. Ever. They don't know. All they know is 3 and 4. All they know is the ingredients and the video that you have. All they know is you're always talking about this, cool thing to build your future. They don't know your heart. They don't know why you're doing this. They don't know your pain. Your own family doesn't even know your pain. They have no idea. So you want to go talk to your hot market? Tell them your story. Let them know, hey, listen, I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Give me 2 minutes to just tell you why I'm doing it. You know my background. Let me tell you what I didn't like. And I found this solution. Here's how I feel now. And whether you join or don't, whether you're customized or you don't, at least you know why I'm doing this. And I love you as my friend. I love you as my family member. And I'm sorry if I made you feel pressured. I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry if I made you, if I caused myself to be pushy on you. It was done from a good heart, but with bad technique. I just didn't know any better. Now I do. So now you know my story. If you want to be a customer, fantastic. If you don't, that's okay too. If you'd like to explore with me, wonderful. And if you don't, I love you anyway. See what I mean? Now, for those of you who bring in new people, those of you who are how many people here are brand new, less than 30 days? You ready? Those of you less than 30 days, just take this example to just not make those people feel like that. Start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way. Okay? So now let's talk about hot market, because we're going to talk about how to recruit 20 and 30, and your hot market's going to be a piece of that. Even if you think it's burned out, I want you to tell them your story anyway. Okay? 3 words I want you to write down next to your hot market. I'm not going to walk back up there to write it down, but write these 3 words down. First word is respect. Don't assume just because they're your brother that they're going to sign up. Don't assume just because they're your best friend that they're obligated to sign up. It's going to be offensive to them. Respect. Number two is support. Support. The word support. And number three is practice. 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 So I'll bring all this together. If I'm talking to a family member, let's say this is my brother. You look like my brother anyway, right? Better looking, but my brother. And his shirt matches my shoes. Anyway, I go to my brother and I say, hey, listen, let me tell you my story. I know we're brothers, but there's a lot that I haven't shared with you. You know my background is this. Here's been my pain. Here's been my frustration. And I did not want to live my life like this. And I found a solution. And I know I've talked to you about it. And I know you've heard about it. But I don't think you know why I'm doing it. So I'm going to tell you what. You know, I want to get rid of this pain. I wanted to be able to find significance in my life. I wanted to be able to do something important, something that mattered. And now I feel different. I feel better about my future. You know? So let me tell you something that would mean the world to me. If you would support me. Like I was opening a restaurant. If I was opening a restaurant, I'd hope you'd be there on opening night and you'd be cheering as big as anybody. If you liked it, if you liked the restaurant, you'd come back. If you didn't like it, I wouldn't expect you to come back. But I would kind of hope that you'd support me on opening night. Right? Yeah. So with this, what would mean the world to me, and I think would mean the world to you long term for your health and your life and everything else, try my product for 30 days. Try my product for 90 days. You know? It's not going to cost very much. It'll mean a lot to me. My first month, I want to get 10, 20 customers. I think it's going to improve the quality of your life anyway. Your support would mean the world to me. You know? He said, I got your back. And that's what most of them are going to say. Yeah, got it. After you tell your story, they want to help anyway. Then you give them an opportunity. Your support would mean a lot to me. Okay? Or I can say to him, the practice piece, I can say, listen, I'm brand new at this thing, and I'm nervous, and I need a friendly face to practice with. Can I practice on you? Can I sit down with you and tell you my spiel? You know, and just lay it all out there and be okay to make mistakes and just kind of go through it. You can give me some feedback and tell me what you think. He says, sure. If you go to a hot market and ask them to practice with them, they'll say okay. Right? So if I sit down and I practice with them, here's what I know about entrepreneurs. What I know about entrepreneurs is they cannot help seeing an opportunity if it's presented to them. They can't help it. It doesn't matter if it's read off of a cue card. An entrepreneur is going to be connecting the dots and going, well, maybe I could do something with that. I might know somebody. Pretty soon by the end of the presentation, and I'm going to say, hey, thanks for listening. You know, give me some feedback. How could I do better? You know, does this thing hold any merit to you? And then I can ask for support and just say, you know, hey, at a minimum, you know, listen. Guess what most of marketing is? 99% of marketing is one thing: getting somebody to try something. That's it. That's it. That's all marketing is. Puppy, monkey, baby on the Super Bowl was trying to get somebody to try that Mountain Dew. That was it. That's all they're trying to do. If they liked it, they'd keep using it. If they didn't like it, they'd stop using it. That's all marketing is, to get somebody to try something. So if I can get my family to try my product for a trial basis, and then I also back it up with the science behind it, I let them know the value and what this can do to improve their life, the chances of them continuing, if they like the benefits of the product, are excellent. But if they don't like it, cool, I'm not going to bother you about it anymore. You know, I won't bother you. Because guess what? If somebody comes, guess how many Cutco knives sets I've bought in my life? Nieces and nephews cutting, you know, tin cans in my kitchen. I'm buying. Why? To support their little business. Right? Somebody knocks on my door, they give me the spiel. I don't need the magic cleaner. Here's 20 bucks for the effort. I don't need any more magazines. Here's 20 bucks. Well done. Good job for knocking on the door. I'm a sucker for that stuff. If my nieces, nephews, family ask for my support, and if they come to me and say, hey, Uncle Eric, can I practice on you? I'm in. And if they ask, hey, would you support me? And if I know that that support ends here, it's not unlimited. I'm going to buy 30 days or whatever, then it's over. If I love it, I'll keep buying. If I don't love it, I'm not going to buy anymore. I'm all over that. Right? So understand, if you go to your hot market, tell your story, number one, with respect. Ask them if you could practice with them. Ask them for their support. You're going to end up with a bunch of customers. And guess what all the studies show? It doesn't matter if a person comes in customer-focused or opportunity-focused. People choose their path with both of those doors. There's an equal amount of people who come in with the product and end up over in the business than come in with the business and end up over with the product. So it's okay. You can start there if you need to. And wouldn't it be helpful to have 20 customers? You know, wouldn't that be good to have 20 customers as you're bringing in 20 distributors over the course of the month, and you have your family on your team? They're with you. They're taking the product. They're patting you on the back and say, hey, how's it going? How's it going? Instead of, hey, how's it going, millionaire? There's a difference. There's a difference. So now let's get back to our 20 and 30. Is this helpful? I'm telling you, this thing is critical. If you don't tell your story, and I hope the example that I just provided to you gives you the understanding that the story is everything. Without the story, nothing works. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. You need the story to build the relationship. And then once you have the relationship built, they want to help anyway. The story helps them get into that state. And then you provide a solution for them to be able to do it and benefit themselves at the same time. Super simple. So, what's the 1%? 99%. What did I say? 99% did do what? Oh, I don't know what the other 1% is. I felt awkward saying 100%, so it's probably something I don't know from some college professor in this room that would correct me, so I gave myself an out. The honest answer. So, what do we want to do over the course of this 30 days in order to be able to get our 20 people?
Tell your story.
Tell our story as many times as possible, right? There's two parts to a presentation. One, tell the story. Two, do the thing. That's what it is. You decide what the thing is. Tell the story, play the video. Tell the story, show the website. Tell the story, sample the product. Tell the story, have a brochure, whatever. Okay? You decide. It doesn't really matter after you tell the story. You'll have lots to talk about after you tell the story. Okay? Tell the story, do the thing. That's all you're going to do. You're going to do that as many times as possible. If you do it in a short period of time, in order to recruit 20, you're going to have to do about 70 times in a month. So you're going to tell the story, do the thing. 70 times. Approximately. Okay, that's the fast path. Tell the story, do the thing. Think 70 times. Now, if it's me, I got to tell you that the world changed about 2 years ago. Totally changed the world. 2 years ago, everyone stopped talking on the phone. They're done. They're not talking on the phone anymore. They're over it. And it started with our kids. Any of the under 25s, they'll tell you. They've been done talking on the phone a long time. It's just text messages. That's all they do now. Started with my daughter. Called my daughter in college a few years back. It's ring, ring, ring. She's sitting there looking at it. Dad calling. Lets it go to voicemail. Immediately texts me, hey Dad, what do you need? I need you to answer the phone. Come on. So irritated. Remember how irritated we got? We got over it. Because they convinced us. All of a sudden, you know, and then they give you little treats too. They send you little hearts and stuff. A little heart from my daughter. Oh. She wouldn't answer my phone call and she'd send me little hearts. I sent hearts back. Found the heart buttons. Learned my emoticons. So you send the stuff back and forth, and pretty soon you kind of go, this is kind of nice. I can manage lots of conversations. I can have conversations when I'm in the bathroom. I can have conversations when I'm anywhere. I can be in a meeting at the office and have 3 conversations with my friends someplace else. I can totally manage all of this stuff without wasting all of this 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there with meaningless chit chat. Just get to the point. Get it over with. It's great. It's the best thing ever. Remember when ringtones were a big deal? When was the last time you heard, you know, Bust a Move or something on somebody's ringtone? You haven't. It's over. Phones don't even ring anymore. Tell them to turn your phone off. Your phone's been off for 2 years. Every phone's on silent. It's over. So it's the greatest thing that's happened to network marketing in 10 years. The best thing ever. Because that's what the biggest fear is of a brand new person. Picking up the phone and calling someone. Scared them out of their mind. Even to set up an appointment. You tell them to do it. They say, yes, I'm going to do it. Do they do it? No. They lie to you. Yes, I called them. They didn't answer. They didn't call them. They never called them. You sit there in front of them and make them call them, pouring sweat. And then they get one question and then they're done. Bad connection. Right? Scary. Back when I started, it was make friends with the phone. Duct tape the phone to your head. And dial for dollars. That was the whole thing. But guess what? Now you don't have to do it. It's the best thing ever. It's so great. All you got to do is send a little text message that says coffee, question mark, and you're done. If you say hi, all you have to do is say hi. And our whole culture has been trained that to not respond to a text message is rude. Because you can see when it's read. They read it and they didn't respond. How rude. Terrible. Best thing ever. So, and plus, you don't get objections. You don't get questions. You don't get objections. So if I want to set up an appointment, all I got to do is send a text message that says, hey, Costa Rica Dave, how you doing, brother? Wonderful, wonderful. So if I send him a message that says, hey, what's your schedule? I want to get together. He goes, shoot back, I don't know, I'm free here, I'm free there. Fantastic, let's get together, I'll talk to you then. He says, perfect, I'll see you at Starbucks. Wonderful, I got an idea I want to run by you. I'll see you then. Done! Boom! Book it! Now, doing that on the phone, if you make 100 phone calls, who's under 30 here in the room? Raise your hand, please. If you're under 30 right here. If you call 100 people, how many of them are going to answer that are not your immediate family or your best friend? 2 out of 100? 10 maybe out of 100? It means 90 voicemails. You know what's the most annoying voicemail in the world today? The voicemail says, hey, call me back. They don't even tell you why they called, so you can just text them the answer. So irritating. Right? So 2 out of 100, that means 98 voicemails you'd leave. Probably wouldn't even leave a voicemail. But if you're trying to set up an appointment, hey, I need to talk to you. How easy is it going to be playing phone tag back and forth to be able to set an appointment? Real hard, right? You know, so leaving 90 out of 100, typically, for all age groups, it's about 80 out of 100 will not answer today. 80 out of 100. So if you're leaving 80 voicemails to try and set an appointment, is that going to be hard or easy? Hard! Now, if you send 100 text messages to 100 people on your phone, start with A and just go through the numbers. 100 text messages, how many of them are going to respond to you? 85? 85? So if you get 80 out of 100 that respond to a text message, how easy is it going to be in comparison to set an appointment with text versus phone? Way easier. Super simple. Super simple. Now, the other thing is you'll do it. You won't do the call, but you do the text. So if I sat with you, and you just got started, and we just sat there until you sent out 10 text messages. Here's what I know. You're going to book 5 appointments. You're going to book 5 out of 10. And all you're going to do is, what are you going to do? You're going to tell the story, do the thing. That's it. Right? And you already learned the story's not scary. It's fun to find somebody else to tell the story to. Tell the story, do the thing. You do that 5 times. Do that enough times, somebody's going to join. At least somebody's going to become a customer. Somebody's going to check it out. So tell the story, do the thing. Now, if you want to recruit 20 people, what I would do, you know, have you thought about a start date, Preston? Yeah? What do you think? The first of what? 1st of July or August? That was your birthday? Okay. 1st of August. Okay, so let's say it's 1st of August. I would preload August. Because what's the date now? July what? 7. Oh, it's a little early. I'd wait till about 10 days before the end of the month, and I would text 100 people. I'd do it all in one day. Text 100 people. Go through Facebook, go through wherever you got to go, you know, connect with people, and I'd text 100. And I would start setting up appointments for the first week of August. And just say, you know, hey, I can't meet with you until then. It's top secret, can't tell you. Right? Classified. And I would just rack them and stack. I would just stack. If I'm working a job, I'm stacking them in the evening, stacking them in the morning, stacking them 2 at lunch, stack. Okay? And I would book 50 to 70 appointments out of those 100 right away. Okay? Now, you're going to need to have about 70 to get 20 if you're really doing it fast. So let's say you need to do 100, so maybe I would send out a total of 200 before August 1st. Okay? Is that something you can do? Yeah. Now, that's not something everyone in the room is going to do. But if you decide to do it, it's going to change your whole life. Okay? How old are you? 23. Just when I started, man. I'm telling you, your life in the future is going to be just something so cool. Imagine being done by 30. You're done. Done working for money by 30. Not being the old guy with the cool car. You know? Be the young guy with the cool car? Come on. That'd be the coolest thing ever. Right? And in 7 years, you can be an absolute world-class professional in this business. 7 years. You can. Now, your whole world is not going to understand what you're doing. Your friends are not going to understand it. People around you are going to try and discourage you. People are going to get you distracted all the time. But if you decide that your future is worth it, you want to help other people, you want to grow, you want to expand, you have bigger dreams than other people, then the next 7 years are going to be an adventure. You're going to grow something huge. And guess what's going to start? August 1st. August 1st. And what's required to start is 200 text messages. Is that hard or easy? Easy. Now, you're still going to be anxious, you're still going to be learning as you go, you're still going to be doing most of this by yourself. That's okay. You're going to get better every single time. Everything you've ever been great at, you started off pretty rotten, and you got better. And that's when you're going to start with this. So start with your hot market, your family, your friends, people who support you and love you. Tell them your story. Ask them for your support. Be respectful. Ask to practice with them. Go through the presentation. At a minimum, you'll end up with some customers. That'll build your confidence. Okay, then you go to some others, you expand, build from there. Now, imagine by the 10th, you've done 100 presentations. 10 a day on average, max. Okay? And by then, you'll have 50 or so that have a level of interest. They haven't decided yes or no. You know, they talk to their spouse, or they've got to figure this out, or they want to do their homework online, or they want to try the product first, or whatever it happens to be. And what you're going to be telling them is, listen, I'm putting together a group of 20. And me and those 20, we're going to go conquer the world. We're going to go tear this. Where do you live? Sacramento? Yeah, we're going to go back to Sacramento. We're going to own Northern California. We're going to tear this thing up. And, you know, it's not. This is a millennial group that's absolutely going to crush. They talk about our lack of commitment and work ethic and drive, and they feel like we're entitled. We're going to show them that we're not none of those things. We're going to cure it, right? Fun, right? Now, for all of you, the starting point is to pick the date and front load all those appointments. And once you front load the appointments, see, the great thing about text messages, the greatest thing about it is once you've done it, you're committed. Once you send 200 text messages, you gotta you're in process now. You know, you're you're slipping down the funnel. You're gonna end up with 20 recruits. There's nothing you can do about it. You know? So it's so great. You can just get yourself committed in a day. You sit there, you know how fast, I mean, you text fast, right? It's like ninja fast. And especially cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste. Same thing with you, right? Bam! Get it done. Now, you guys together, what's your story? Huh? Okay, cool. You're dating, you do it too. And I think you can beat him. You have a competition. First one to 20 people. You know, get some big prize. Right? Fair enough? Oh, you can do it by Monday, he says. No, here's the deal. I want you, are you guys both going to do it? Are you thinking? You're not going to try to. Not involved in the company yet, well, you're going to. Yeah, you're going to do it. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it big. You might as well do it big in front of 6,000 people. All right, so here's the deal. I just throw this out just for fun. Whenever you guys start, I would like you to connect with our office. You can just call our office. You can find us on the website or whatever. Or find me on Facebook, send me a direct message. Okay? And tell me the start date, and let's have a little competition. Okay? And whoever gets there first, I'm going to give them, I'm not going to give them a car. I'll give them a VIP ticket to GoPro Recruiting Master. $1,000 ticket. Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, the whole thing. I'll give them airfare to Vegas. First week of December. And I'll give them hotel room for December 1st to the 4th. And whoever wins, you have to make a little YouTube video with the winner-loser thing, and we'll put it up on Network Marketing Pro so everybody can see it. Okay? Yeah? Yeah? Good? All right. Now, what did I just do with these two? What could you do with every single person on your team? Could you sit down with them and show them, paint a picture to show them how they can get where they want to go? Yes. Best way to do it is you do it first. And then say, you want to do it too? Let me show you how. You want to do it at the same time? Fantastic, but don't bother me while I'm doing mine. Okay? So, we're telling the story, we're doing the thing. You need to load the month. You need to preload as best you can. Get it packed, get it filled. Get it so you don't even have to think about your calendar because it's already filled before the month starts. Then during the second part, you're going to be focused on follow-up. Third part, you're going to be focused on helping them make that decision and get involved. You're going to be using some urgency. Come on, let's get going. Right? Let them know that together you're going to conquer the world. Do you get the feel of what I'm talking about here? Most of 20 and 30 is a decision. But the text message is an absolute gift because you can load the whole month just by starting at the beginning. So you're going to send out text messages, you're going to load the month, you're going to tell the story, and you're going to do the thing. That's most of it. With Hot Market, you're going to use respect, practice, and support. With Warm Market, you've seen in GoPro and every place else, you can use a direct approach. Hey, I have an opportunity for you. I know you're looking for this improvement in your life. I thought I would help. I have a solution. Or two, you can go to them with an indirect approach. I would like your input. I'd like your support. I'd like your feedback. I'd like your experience. I'd like your knowledge. Can I share something with you and get, you can tell me what you think. I'm looking to expand a business in this area. Tell me what you think. Do you think this area would support a business like this? Advice, support. Or a super indirect approach, which is, I know you're not a prospect, but you're an influential, powerful person. I need you to look at this. I know you know a lot of people. If you can connect me with some people that are ambitious and money motivated, entrepreneurial, can help you launch a business in this area, I'd make it worth your time. Super indirect, you're not a prospect. Right? But then share the opportunity. So it's pretty simple in those terms, inviting people to those to that process. Now listen. Most of this is a decision. Most of this is just saying, you know what, I'm not going to crawl anymore. You know what, I'm going to go big. Some of you are going to start and do it and finish. And those of you that do, it's going to be tremendous. It's going to be amazing. I've got to tell you something. Let me give you a little hint on something you're going to learn about tomorrow. I got a little sneak peek. The Pro 3 level takes about $5,000, or it takes exactly $5,000 in volume, right, to qualify. Is that correct? If you bring in people at the top level, how many do you have to recruit in order to be able to go Pro 3? 5 people. So I gave you a formula to bring in 20. What if the company gave you huge bonuses if you made it to Pro 3 in the next 90 days? Does that provide any incentive for you to go ahead and make it happen? What if they provided even bigger bonuses if you helped people on your team go Pro 3 in the next 90 days? Right. Should I shut up now? It's really cool. It's really cool. They're throwing big money. Big money. When do they get to hear about this? Tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning? Yeah. Here was part of my objective today is to give you some tools and a mindset, right? Everything that we talked about early this afternoon about the habits of the super successful people. What you need to do in order to be able to get yourself in a state of vision and belief and being unreasonable and all that stuff. Focused in order to be able to do what you need to do. And then just a simple decision to be able to bring in 20 and 30. If you can buy into 20 and 30, can you buy into 5 in 90? 5 in 90? It's like...
I love it.
Stupid. 5 in 90? I mean, how many appointments do you have to book to bring in 5? 2 out of 10, 25 appointments in 90 days? For big money? And what if you can inspire a whole bunch of people on your team to do the same thing, and all of a sudden you've got leadership bonuses that kicked in for helping other people do that? How many people believe that in the next 90 days you could bring in 20 people? How many people believe you can do that? How many people have absolutely no doubt that you could go Pro 3 in the next 90 days? How many people are not yet a Pro 3 in this room? Raise your hands, please. Every single one of you. I want you to imagine something. Imagine, listen to me. Imagine 90 days from now, everybody that in this room that's not a Pro 3 is a Pro 3. Imagine. What's a Pro 3 make on average a month? $500 a month. Okay? And if you could do it, then you can teach it, right? You a Pro 3 yet? No? Well, in 90 days. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. I'm your friend. Oh, baby. I won't mess with the bulldog. But he's going to be, hey, sweetie, he's going to be Pro 3. Imagine every single one of you that wants to be Pro 3 done, Pro 3, okay, in the next 90 days. Now imagine you have the gift to all the people that were not here, could not be here for whatever reason, or chose not to be here for whatever reason. And you can give them just a simple little format. There's 25 appointments. It's nothing. Right? What do you got to send out? 50 text messages in order to be able to go Pro 3? That's it. 50 text messages. What are you going to do when you get together with them? Tell the story, do the thing. That's it. Tell the story, do the thing. You know how to do it. You just did it 3 times, right? 2 times right, 1 time wrong? So we know what not to do? So if you have this gift, you have a company that's supporting you, and you're going to see tomorrow, not only, they shared some of the stuff with me, not only are they going to throw money at you for going Pro 3 and helping other people do the same thing. Not only are they going to throw lots of extra money at you, but they're taking the product to the next level. They're taking the support and the training and the follow-up. The whole onboarding is helping people get started and duplicate faster. They're taking that to the next level. Okay? You're going to hear about all of it this weekend. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Are you tired of crawling or not? Are you ready to go big or not? How many people believe in the product? How many people believe every single person that you know should, at a minimum, be on the product?
Yeah.
How many people realize that in order to reach more people, you need to grow a larger network? You got it? It's not hard. But you do have to face your fear. You do have to do something extraordinary because other people are still going to call you weird. All the realists and the pessimists of the world are still going to be confused at what you do. People are going to try to get you to go to the movies. They're going to try to get you to go to the beach. And they're going to try to get you to be distracted in 1,000 different ways. And you have a choice to let their belief system infect you or have your belief system infect them. In all these conversations, somebody's buying and somebody's selling. You just got to determine that you're going to be selling life. You're going to be selling hope. You're going to be selling health. You're going to be selling financial independence. You're going to be selling freedom. You're going to be selling hope. Right? So here's what I want to say as I kind of wrap up. I'm here for like 300 of you. The rest of you, I'm glad you came and made the arena look much better. But no joke. I'm here because there's about, in my experience, about 300 of you that are ready. That are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And nobody could pick you out of a lineup. Nobody even knows. They might not even know your name. Darren Jensen might not even know that you exist. Your upline doesn't even know who you are. Nobody knows what the potential that's been sitting inside of you. Nobody knows. Maybe you've been around for a long time and you haven't done something in a while and ready to flex your muscle again. Maybe you've been involved for a long time and you've never really done that much. Everybody knows your name, but they also know that you haven't done very much. Whatever it is, there's about 300 of you that are ready to break out. I mean, for real. So that's why I'm here. You know, to instead of planting a seed of doubt, planting a seed of belief inside of you that says, you know what? I believe you've got this. I want to just give you the nudge. Maybe just a little idea, a few tactics, a few ideas in order to be able to do it. At the end of the day, you're ready to make the decision anyway, right?
Yes.
Now the rest of you, I love you anyway. And I know that hopefully you got a little closer today. I know making a life-changing decision isn't just for everybody every minute. Sometimes you need to circle it for a while. Sometimes you need to sleep on it for a while. Sometimes you need to stare at the ceiling for a little while. And you just need to give yourself permission to dream again for a little while. And that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. If you're not ready to make a decision today, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That just means your journey is continuing. It's okay. But for those of you ready to go, I will tell you, the foundation of this company is going to be built on the people making the decisions now. There's going to be people looking back at this company 5 years from today that says, really? You were there? You were in the room in July 2016? No. What I would give, they're going to say, to be back with you when you were there in the room. Some of you are going to be able to say, yeah, I was there. And I took action, and I changed my family's history. And some of you are going to say, I was there. But then I had laundry, and I had to mow the lawn. Things got busy at the office. I hope you make the decision for you, the one that's right for you, because you deserve it. In the end, it all comes down to two things: fear and making a decision. Most of it's an illusion. You just got to take action. So let me tell you this: my wish for all of you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. That you decide to go broke. Because it is the strong cold back to be a better way. Now it's going to play the world. I love you all very much. Have a great conference. Have a good weekend. And don't keep doing it. That's it, right?
Wow. Very cool. Oh, still got some more stuff going on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eric. Who'd like some more of Eric? Well, I have good news for you. Eric will be back in Orlando, Florida. We will be kicking off the Elite Academy there on October 6th. And we do have tickets available in the store. Same format as last time. A single ticket, $75. If you buy them in a bundle of 25, they're $50 a piece. And if you buy a bundle of 100, they're $40 a piece. And your Elite Academy show ticket for Orlando is also on sale in the store for $79. So don't forget that. Now, I do have to make a couple quick announcements. For all of you that won the Pro 3 March Madness promotion, if you became a new Pro 3 in the month of March, we're going to meet you upstairs in room 204A and B. Our Elite reception for all our Pro 7s and above is at the Hilton Sunset Deck tonight at 8 p.m. And don't forget, tomorrow morning we kick off the event with the Science and Technology Seminar from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The doors open at 8:30. So just a reminder, the store is open till 8 p.m. Are you guys ready to kick off an amazing weekend? Fantastic. You just heard that you have chosen the absolute best profession in the world. Tomorrow and Saturday, you're going to see that you're with the best company in the world. We'll see you guys all back here tomorrow.
Well, that's it for today. Guess we're going to go have dinner. We're going to grab something to eat. And tickets just went on sale for $79. So if you want $79 for Orlando, also those of you in South Florida that are part of my group, you will be attending Eric Worre's training. You got to, you have to. They're absolutely amazing. Alrighty guys, hope you have a great day. I will be broadcasting tomorrow. You know I'm not allowed to broadcast the science seminar, but I will be broadcasting everything else. Love ya. Peace out. We'll see you soon.